Everyone, lights off. Let's head back to 1816. It was the year without a summer. Mount Tambora in Indonesia had erupted, veiling the sun in volcanic ash. Half the globe was plunged into a morbid, damp chill. In a villa by Lake Geneva, 5 geniuses were huddled together: 18-year-old Mary Shelley, her husband the poet Percy Shelley, the brilliant Lord Byron, and the rest. It was too cold to step outside, so someone proposed a challenge: everyone write a horror story. Mary, standing among those avant-garde, rebellious men, was a profound outsider. She was a daughter whose birth cost her mother's life. At 18, she had already survived elopement, social ostracization, and the death of her first child. That night, she jolted awake from a nightmare. She saw a pale young man kneeling before a grotesque mass of flesh he had stitched together. Many people haven't read the original book and assume this is just a story about a Frankenstein monster chasing villagers. Let me set the record straight. Victor Frankenstein, a genius obsessed with the secrets of life, assembles a 7-foot creature from cadavers and jolts it to life with lightning. But the moment the creature opens its eyes, Victor is terrified by those dull, yellowish orbs. He feels no joy of success, only physiological revulsion. He flees, abandoning this newborn life, one that has just opened its eyes to the world, right there in the lab. The creature is actually remarkably intelligent. It teaches itself language in the wilderness and reads Paradise Lost and the Sorrows of Young Werther. It hides near a cottage, desperate for acceptance. It even helps the family by chopping wood, only to be beaten away the moment it reveals itself. The creature's revenge begins here. It kills Victor's brother, best friend, and fiancé. It tells Victor, "You gave me life, but deprived me of the right to be human. I will make you taste the same bitterness of isolation." Finally, Victor chases the creature across the Arctic ice, dying of exhaustion. Creature, finding its creator dead and itself the last lonely soul on Earth, decides to vanish forever in the polar wastes, a final act of reclaiming its own agency. Do you see what Mary Shelley was writing? This isn't just sci-fi, it's a blood letter about creation as trauma. She projected the terror of childbirth and the despair of abandonment onto that monster. Victor represents a stripped-down instrumental rationality. He sees life as parts to be calculated and assembled. He didn't want a living being, he wanted a tool, a servant that would never rot and would obey his will absolutely. His so-called science is Thanatos masked as Eros. On the surface, it's about creating life. At its core, it's about absolute control. When he ran, he wasn't just fleeing an ugly thing. He was fleeing a landslide of lifelong responsibility. The weight of life requires a sacrificial love to uphold, and a selfish creator like Victor simply couldn't handle it. Remember, the monster is the original victim. Its violence is the byproduct of social exclusion, a desperate, tragic reverse connection to a creator who refused to see it as human. In the next episode, we'll talk about how, in 2025, director Guillermo del Toro took hundreds of millions of dollars to turn this grand tragedy into a customized pre-made meal.